here we go. Okay, now, so we did this. All right, so now we're going to move on to something else in this chapter. Again, if you can't see the lecture notes, just let me know, but I think everyone can see them. Good, all right. Okay, so this is actually another way of measuring variation. What we have are quartiles, okay? Quartiles. And basically what they do is they are numbers that actually break up the data into quarters. Q1 is the value so that once you sort the data from smallest to biggest, 25% of the data values are less than it. 25% of the data values are less than it. Q2 is just the median, so 50% of the data values are less than it. Again, this is after you sort the data from smallest to biggest. The third quartile, that's the number where 75% of the data values are below it. The idea, remember, is 25% of the data values are between two consecutive quartiles. And what we also do is we have this concept called the 5-number summary. That is the quartiles, the 3 here, along with the minimum and maximum data value. Again, that's what the minimum and maximum data values, okay? So that's what this is. So this is the 5-number summary. All right, so that's what these are. I mean, the median we've seen before. It's also included as one of these. How do you get these numbers? Well, that's what this procedure is. What you do, again, is you sort the data from smallest to largest. Now, for Q1, you want to calculate this number. 0.25 times n. N is how many data values there are. Then, what you get for n will determine the next step. If you get a decimal, you always round up to the next whole number. Even if rounding rules tell you to round down, you still round up. So if you get 0.2, you would round that up to 1, for instance. Or if you get 1.1, round up to 2. And then the data value in that position, you're going to use that for your quartile, Q1, excuse me. The L plus here just means round up to the next whole number. That's all this means. I think the book uses this notation. That's why I'm using it here, if I remember correctly. I wrote these notes up last semester. Now, if L is a whole number, though, then, then what you do is you find the mean of the data values in the L and the L plus 1 position. That's if L is a whole number, okay? That's if L is a whole number. Okay, that's how you find Q1. With Q3, it's the same thing, except now your locator is going to be 0.75 times n. Now, Q2 is the median. You could use the procedure I showed you already, or you can use this procedure, but L would have to be 0.5 times n. L would have to be 0.5 times n, okay? So this is how you find the quartiles. And again, you want to sort the data from smallest to largest first. You know, Google Sheets can do that. I mean, you can do that by hand also, but Google Sheets is really good. So, or Excel. So that's what quartiles are. And okay, so let's do some examples. There we go. Suppose this is the data that we're dealing with. Okay? Counting it, you would just get 12 data values. I mean, here it's actually already sorted, which makes it a little bit easier for us. Saves us a step. Notice the minimum is 59 and the maximum is 78. So for the 5-number summary, we just need the 3 quartiles. So for Q1 again, we have to get our locator, which is 0.25 times n. So in this case, we get 0.25 times 12. Which is 3, it's just a quarter of 12. Now notice we get a whole number here, right? So that means we have to find the data values in the third and fourth position from the bottom, from the smallest number. So the minimum is the first data value. You have to get the third and fourth, you have to get the data values in the third and fourth position, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, 62 and 64, and you get their mean. That's how you get that's how you get Q1. So in this case, Q1 is the mean of those two, which is 63. So that's what we get here. Okay. For Q2, the median, okay, again, you could use what we did before, but it really amounts to doing what we're doing here. It's really the same thing. You get your locator, which is 0.5 times 12, 0.50 times 12, excuse me, which is, of course, 6. Half of 12, that is. That's a whole number, right? So what you do is you get the mean of the data values in the 6th and 7th positions. In other words, you get the 6th and 7th data values and you get their average. So for the 6th one, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 67 is the data value. It's the 6th data value. 69 is the 7th one. Their average you get, add them up, divide by 2, you get 68. Okay, get 68. So that's the median here. And finally, for Q3, L is 0.75 times N. 0.75 times 12 here, which is actually 9. That's also a whole number. So you have to get the data values, the 9th and 10th data values, right? You get the L and L plus 1 positions. So for us, L is 9. So we get the data values in the 9th and 10th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 72 and 74. You have to get their average, which turns out to be 73. You know, you add them up, divide by 2. And then the 5-number summary is the minimum, 59, Q1, Q2, the median, Q3, and the maximum value. That's the 5-number summary. And that's what we get here. Again, this is just another way of measuring, variability. You know, the idea, remember, is between any two consecutive numbers here, about 25% of the data values are located between any two consecutive numbers here. All right. Any questions on this one? Because we'll do another one. Okay. So here we have this data. So this is another example. Actually, let me get the Google Sheets and I'll show you how to sort it. Well, it's really not hard to do, but okay, I'm just opening it up. I clicked on it. You could do this in Excel also. Personally, I like Google Sheets a little bit better. That's just me, though. Okay. All right, so we have to type in the data here. All right, so let's do that. So I have to stop sharing this, and I'm going to go to Google Sheets. Okay. So 175, I'm typing it. 416, 87, 203, 180. I'm just typing in the data now. That's all I'm doing. No, I typed 304, but should have been 504. 218. Almost there. Okay. So the data is typed in. Now, how do we sort it, though? What you do is you go to, what do you go to? You go to data, and you go to sort. Well, you could highlight it also. Let me just do that. Once you highlight it, you go to data, and then you go to sort column A from A through Z. A through Z means lowest to highest. As you can see, this is what we get. Okay? So again, you could use Google Sheets to sort it. If it's the only data there, so you can see there's nothing else there, you could actually, you don't have to highlight it then if it's the only data there. So that's all sorted, and normally you would type that in, you know, I guess, or write it down somewhere. Okay, let's get back to the notes. Good, here we go. All right. But you can see now the line below it, the data is already sorted. The data is sorted, as you can see. And right away, you get the min and maximum, right? The minimum is 87. The maximum is 1,300. 1,300. So we got to get the quartiles. Remember, there are 15 data values, okay? So for Q1, that would be 0.25 times 15, okay? And, you know, if you do the calculation, you get 3.75. I mean, here you probably would just know to round up, you know, to the next whole number, because 3.75, you round up to 4. So what's the data value in the fourth position? It would be 175. So that's our Q1. That's our Q1 there.